Alright, time for another DraftPhysics.com, debatephysics.com. But, you need somebody in a debate who has some sincere purposes and intents, not lying fakers, shysters who are just trying to cheat their way into a victory. Some mockery game. So anyway, this is video number 6. Yay. Alright, so this part I haven't heard yet. So it ought to be a little bit more interesting for me anyway. Anyway, so not that, just rewatching the fact that they just won't discuss the subject. I mean, again, you can argue about any one of these subjects in 5 minutes and make a good solid point, and then they should be able to respond to some sentence I say in those arguments and point out where I'm wrong, point out how levers are unreliable. They're not going to tell you the truth. Balances. That wheel balancing doesn't have anything to do with, kinetic energy, when of course their theory makes a mess out of it. All right. So, continuing.
So, Astro Kate says, "You get what you deserve." Yes, Gary, MCToon deserves a nice soup.
Okay, Astro Kate. So again, moron. Works for NASA, they claim. I don't know. She didn't say it, he said it. But who knows?
Richard, donation. Well, thank you very much, Astro Kate. You know what? It's not a donation. I pay taxes on that. It is, I think, tip or something like that is a better word. I say that because Witsit claimed that he runs multiple businesses, including his flirting, where...
So, yeah, it really is foul that he gets paid to do this nonsense.
But his flirting is all like, send him a donation. I'm like, well, you donate to a charity. So what tax deductible charity? That's a tax deductible charity if it's a donation. What business are you running, Austin? Because that's not a business if you're taking donations. It's nitpicking. But anyway, thank you for that.
Sure is.
That's okay. I see spins as pause. Oh, he's not going to do it. Okay. And he...
Pause. Oh, he's not going to do it. Okay. What does that even mean? Don't know. He did. I mean, I can bring it up. Oh, I'll bring it up again. It was pretty funny. Poor guy. Just amazing. Okay, you're gonna, I'm gonna make you eat these words, fucktard.
For being such an odious person.
Yeah, you're odious. You're a disgusting, slimy, conniving, scheming, cheating, dupe leader. Let's dupe the masses, the dumb fuckers, and I'll dupe them for my little $2 a shot, for $2. Oh, God. Disgusting.
What? Let's see here. We got this.
In the name of science.
We'll move over. And there's a reason why I was trying to move on.
So I've played this video on my own channel 100 times. And so somehow he thinks this scares me. The free energy experiment scares me.
Because he was just going to go on and on. But here it is. All right. So here you see the two sleds. And the one on the left has a little bit of clay on it. Now, he had mentioned previously that they were to the 1 plus or minus 1 gram, half the mass. The small one is half the mass of the large one. And of course, when you buy these things, they're not necessarily the same mass if it's double the length, right?
Well, they are. So I'm just saying. So okay, I mean, if you go to the store, you'll see they really are. They cut. It's cut aluminum. I mean, obviously, why would they cut it to? Let's cut it to some arbitrarily silly length. No, it's 1, 2, 3. That's the length. They can't make them any bigger than that because they get too heavy, but come on. It's not too illogical to recognize it.
You have to do some control for confounding variables.
Okay, so there's lots of variables. I'm just saying the other carts were really clean. How come these carts are dirty? That's just a simple enough argument. Why are they so cruddy looking?
And clearly this little bit of clay is control for confounding variables. But Gary thinks there's a global conspiracy.
That's not what I say. So again, religion isn't a conspiracy, is it? Do you think religion's a conspiracy? Is that what your argument is? You're a conspiracy theorist? You think there's a conspiracy to keep people stupid? Or what do you think they all took a pill or something and that's why they're idiots? You're an idiot. Just like a religious kook is an idiot because you've been ill-informed. You've been taught poorly, all right? And you haven't had enough, you haven't done enough touching and feeling of reality to realize that maybe you're being lied to and cheated and duped. And so you fall for nonsense. It's not my fault. You fall for, what, many worlds theories? What's your interpretation? Do you really believe that photons entangle? I mean, how big a dupe are you?
To hide
There's no absolute positions in space. It's all arbitrary by some magical arbitrary mechanism.
I mean, just like the flat earthers, a global conspiracy to hide the fact that conservation of momentum.
Okay, so we know that conservation of momentum doesn't make any sense if you can make free momentum. If you can have more motion in the universe, more motion is more energy. By any rational thermodynamic theory, more mass moving is more energy. It doesn't matter what direction it's moving. We know that it doesn't matter which direction an atom is moving inside of a pressurized tank of steam. We know all of that's true. So if I have two pieces of steam moving in opposite directions, they didn't cancel. It's obvious they're not going to do work. Of course they're going to do work. If I have two photons going in opposite directions, they don't cancel. They both do work. So, God, you're stupid.
Exists, and that Gary, the one person in the world that understands it.
So this is his after show where, he invites you on, and then he's going to do this after you're left. After he kicks you out, then he's going to play this game where no one can counter argue the nonsense he's going to say.
Everybody else doesn't. He understands that he is the super woke one. Oh, but of course,
there's nothing super about it. All you have to do is do a little bit of research. You type Godfield Leibniz into Google, and you'll find out what a lunatic he was in terms of his personal perception of reality.
Of course, at NASA, they teach conservation of momentum and the work energy theorem to the people.
Okay, so it doesn't make any sense to talk about conservation of momentum. That's not the subject. And at NASA, I don't think they teach you can throw energy out one side of your ship and throw it out the other side of the ship, and somehow the energy itself is now canceled. That doesn't happen.
At NASA, but they don't actually use it, he says. How is it that they don't?
Okay, so liar. So you just lied again. Where did I say they don't use conservation of momentum? Where the fuck did I say that, you pathetic liar? What I said they don't use is 1/2 mv squared to calculate thrust ever. That's why NASA, like I said, back in the 80s, okay, when they would talk about the space program, they are kind of routinely would say, we only use Newtonian mechanics to land on the moon. That was the line. Well, what did it mean? Did it mean Leibnizian mechanics? I don't think so.
Don't use it when it's literally taught to the, we had a NASA employee on saying.
So you're saying because she's a NASA employee who works on, I don't know what kind of work she could possibly do because she's an imbecile.
This is definitely how we use it. Well, by his standard, he's going to go a little flirty here.
So again, he's saying again. All right. So I don't know. Should I try illustrating this one? I mean, drawing it. I mean, there's nothing to draw really. I mean, the thrust argument is so obvious. So Newton's law says there has to be an equal and opposite reaction, right? I mean, you should be able to see most of this, right? see enough of it. Yeah, you can see enough of the board. All right, so, and only momentum obeys Newton's third law, all right, in any, in any circumstance, really. All right, so here's your rocket. It doesn't matter whether it's taking off or it's flying through space. We're just basically saying the stuff comes out here, and I can do two calculations on this stuff. It has mass and velocity. So I can do the momentum calculation. That'll give me a number. Let's just say 300. And then I can do the mv squared calculation, which could be 365,434. It's obviously going to be a very different number. Not going to be anywhere near the same number. All right, well, you can barely see that. Not a perfect... Shouldn't have drawn it way over here. That's the problem, right? The over here part is the part you can't see the numbers. All right, well, anyway. And so the real point is let's say it says that you got this much propulsion. Okay, you won't get it here. This is the ballistic pendulum all over again. All right, so you have all of this energy in KE here. You have a bunch of KE here. But the problem is you can't convert the KE into opposite reaction. There's no third law working with KE. So all you're going to get from this thing, because the third law does apply to momentum, is that only the momentum, the MV, okay, I could use the P symbol, right? The momentum is the only thing that's going to be transferred equal and opposite. So you know this will be the same momentum as this exhaust. It will not be the same KE. So it will be this much. This number is what the spaceship's going to do. The spaceship's going to do the exhaust momentum. It's not going to do the exhaust KE. Absolute fucking fact. And this lying asshole, this pseudo-science defender, is arguing something that's absolutely not true. A rocket lifting off does not prove KE. It actually proves the third law, and it proves momentum does always work. So he's an absolute liar and a fake phony physics proselytizer to sit there and argue that rockets lifting off is demonstrating the fact that it's mv squared, not mv. It's not a fact, and it doesn't prove it. He's a pathetic frickin' liar.
We're gonna extrapolate his claim. It has to be that they use it in the non, right, on that side of the curtain. The people on that side of the curtain, they know the actual formulas. You know, the ones that Gary knows. Well, Gary didn't actually share any of the correct formulas and how to apply these things correctly every time you ask.
So again, yes, no, there's no problem. What formula do you need? I mean, MV is so simple. What the fuck do I have to do to it exactly? How do I formalize it in any way that could possibly matter? It's mass and velocity. And it just doesn't matter what kind of units I use as long as I use consistent ones and you can understand them. So I could use the energy of... I could use this as the standard. I could say there's a certain amount of wattage in this battery. And I could say, okay, let's just measure its wattage. That'll be 1 unit. All right, and then I could say something about it like it's in this battery units. I mean, anything could be used. Anyway, it doesn't. I mean, that argument just shouldn't even be an argument. The fact that you don't have to use meters and seconds. You could use hours and pennies.
And that he's like, show me the proof of the experiment. This is it right here. This.
Okay, so again, he's using the experiment that I'm pointing out has obvious flaws and is in fact a free momentum experiment. So there's just no way to get around the fact that why don't we do this then? All right, we have a 2-mass cart. Let's put a 4-mass, or even better, right? 3 times. Well, if we use 3, it gets even better. But if we just use a 4-mass cart next, all right, then we will gain another increase of 1/3 over what we already have. So it'll be 1/3 of 133. So it will be like 40. So I'll add 40. So now we'll have 180. So now we'll be at 180. We started with 100 and now we're up to 180. And if we do another cart, then I'll be over twice as much energy. So I've doubled the energy of the object, and I'm still getting stuff going backwards that I'm not collecting that I could collect. I mean, he's an idiot.
This is the experiment you were talking about, Gary, right here, this one.
Yeah, I have it in 100 of my own videos pointing out how it's free momentum experiment.
And you brought it up, the irony. I love it.
So there's no irony. It's complete victory for my side in point of proving you people are imbeciles. You think free energy, free momentum is possible. I mean, is it really too challenging for you to explain how I couldn't just keep increasing the mass and increasing the amount of momentum? Can you not understand that? Can you not understand that it creates a paradox? You can't start with 100 and for free make it 133. And then for free make it 180. And then for free make it 260. Can you understand that can't be possible in this universe? Oh, What a dishonest piece of shit.
It's so good. I love when there's citations. I mean, just the build up. He's been building up since 8 o'clock tonight. It's almost 1 a.m. talking about the Walter Lewin
Yes, I gave you the exact description of the video. I told you I've played it 100 times. I've seen it more than anybody else. I've played it more than 100 times, frankly. It's in 100 of my videos. Oh, amazing.
Observational momentum thing, and it just destroyed him. And what was his answer? His answer was 2 parts. Obviously, Walter Lewin is lying about the mass, right? He's doing that so that Gary's secret doesn't get out.
Well, this is why he's using these carts. If you look at the experiment later, he uses 2 different carts for the experiment. Why does he have to keep switching the carts?
Oh, no. And then also, he's like, well, it was 100 here, and it was 33 the other direction, and there was 133 this way, so it's a 166. There's 166 momentum instead of 1.
Okay, so this one's really easy for anybody to understand, right? so you put 100 in, it bounces back, okay, with 33. So I still have 33 moving in the universe here. So if it was in a sealed container, you could understand. I have 100 going this way. Now I have 33 heading for this wall. And I have 133 heading for the other wall. And that's not a 100%, a 60% increase in the energy in the system? Of course it is. If it was inside a vessel, the heat of the vessel would have increased, whatever it is, 80% more heat. 60% of 100, whatever that is. I mean, 60% is 60%, but it's 133, so it gets a little more complicated.
100 momentum, like, you don't know how signs work. You have a plus and you have a minus.
Okay, yeah, you don't know how. That's destruction of energy, not cancellation. So again, how can you cancel the energy? The energy always has to go somewhere. And so you're creating free motion. You have now more stuff in the universe moving. There's more mass moving. That's the concept. He's mocking somebody for saying, well, you can't make more mass move for free. There's no free lunch. So if you have more mass moving, you had to get the energy from somewhere. And where did it come from? Because you didn't start with it. So where did it come from? Where's the magical source of the extra energy? The extra mass in the universe moving? I mean, it's not very complicated.
If you have a minus 33 and a plus 133, they...
Right, and somehow the energy knows which one to minus. Yeah, so I have a plus 33 and I have a minus 133. And I end up with a minus 100 then. Cool, I have minus 100. I mean, you could just ask the question, why is the reflection a minus? Okay, it's just as capable of hitting something. The one going to the left is just as capable of hitting a wall and breaking something. And the other one going to the right is just as capable of, banging into the cat's tail and making the cat scream. How do you know which one you're supposed to minus? Too stupid.
Come to 100. Oh, bless your little heart.
Our minus 100. Fuck your stupid brain. Get what you deserve, you stupid glib fuck.
Gary, you didn't get the sign. I had a kid, one of my kids, that was his Achilles heel.
Yeah, one of your fucking cretinous morons. I mean, they must be a freak show, your family. A fucking freak show.
His Achilles heel was science when doing math. And, it was always the challenge. Always doing math. He'd come out with the wrong number. Like, how'd you do that? And I'd work his math because I'm his math teacher. And I'd work it through. Oh, you missed the sign. He was like, oh, does that matter? I'm like, yeah, it matters. He's great.
Whatever. He's a retard, obviously. So he's just pointing out how, I do have, they're all mutants because, I had herpes. The wife has gonorrhea. And what do you think? Nothing good was going to happen.
He's great at math now. But Gary missed it. Like, right? My kid was like 10, right? And Gary, at I don't know what age angry Doc Brown is, but
okay, so it's great that I have a copy of this. So when it's the point is proven eventually that you can't make free momentum. It's free energy. Free momentum, free energy. Same goddamn thing. The fact that the free energy nuts haven't taken advantage of this is just pretty funny, right? I mean, there's so many assholes trying to find free energy, and here it is, Professor Lewin showing you how to do it. He's showing you right in front of him. He's showing you how to do free energy. Why aren't they taking advantage? Oh, I guess because it doesn't fucking happen. It doesn't work. That's why no one's taking advantage. Because it doesn't work. Duh. Oh, that's priceless. I mean, really, just think about how many people out there are just desperate to create free energy. There's so many. And you can't deny that the energy going in the same direction. I mean, if you ignore the reflection, you have more energy going in the same direction.
He totally missed it. He can't get the science. It's so good.
He's having such a good time, but it's not going to last, fucker. It's not going to last, fucker.
Lisa says his lack of sense of humor is the first red flag. Gary's a terrible...
Yeah, right. Everybody should have a sense. So just understand, right? This is like, whatever it is, 5 hours of mockery and insults. And I was supposed to have a sense of humor. I have one now. I thought the penis joke was just perfect, right? I mean, who comes up with stuff like that? Right in the middle of the conversation, he mentions monster truck, and I automatically realize, oh yeah, micro penis. Automatically.
Human. Good job, everybody, exposing Gary. Yes, thank you very much for everybody that came.
Yes, you've been exposed, weasel.
Came on and helped expose. Man, and his units confusion is great.
Yeah, so there was no units confusion. It's 1/2 mv squared. There's no need to use any new units. I can make any units I want out of the mass and any units I want out of the velocity as long as they're consistent units. So I could do elephant strides as the velocity, and I could use the weight of a flea as the mass.
Easy. Crazy. 82 Production says...
The formula is always true. It doesn't matter what the units are. Oh, god damn. I mean, it's always saying what it's saying. So, it doesn't change what it's saying. The squared velocity means that the output, the thing you're going to get as an answer, has to be quadratic because there's nothing else in the formula except multiplication. Because all of the elements in the formula are multiplication. As soon as you quadratically increase one number, you have increased the product. There's no way to avoid that, Mr. Math Whiz. Whizzer. Oh.
Say that being consistent with signs is nearly always a hurdle for people who don't get it when it comes to something math-based, especially early on. Yeah. The other thing that conspiracy cranks or physics cranks or science cranks, whatever, is they friction. Right, it's they don't have equations everything's wrong except for them, but they don't have the equation to replace the wrong one with.
So let's just understand that friction is the key argument to the thin ice argument and the ball rolling 4 times the distance argument, and these clueless morons can't figure out that if I go quickly across a scale, I will not weigh my weight. Okay, it won't happen. I won't weigh my weight if I go fast enough across the scale. And they can't understand that argument, that I can't lose energy to friction unless I actually do push on the surface. So if I have a vertical surface and I drop something right next to it, well, it's not going to take any energy. So I have to have some force pushing it into the surface. And if it's a very weak wind, like a 1 mile an hour wind, and so it just barely pushes it onto the surface, I won't lose much speed. It has to push it hard into the surface to take away my velocity.
Right? They just say it's wrong, which is very flat earthy of them. I don't know what shape the Earth is, but I just know it's not a globe. I don't know what the right formula is. I just know that's not it. That's it.
So this is an idiot again who's arguing that 1/2 mv squared does not mean that if you have twice the velocity, it's 4 times the energy. And obviously, if it's 5 times the velocity, it's 25 times the energy. He doesn't understand.
Anyway, math and friction. BJ Tony for $5 Australian says, that guy gave me a headache. I've deducted $10 from the super chat for aspirin. Dude, don't take 10.
This is the asshole who was in the room, right? PhD Tony. So he's paying this asshole. The guy with the PhD is paying the mocking moron who can't even figure out that, yes, that's exactly what the theory says. I mean, I said it in the video, right? But it's everybody. I mean, this bar would be able to figure this out. That yes, okay, twice the velocity, 4 times the energy, 3 times the velocity, 9 times the energy, 4 times the velocity, 16 times the energy. I mean, it's really not complicated. So I didn't really get that, do the bowling thing, but the comparison between the 16-pound ball going 8 miles an hour and the 8-pound ball going 16 miles an hour. Physics says the 8-pound ball should be able to knock down more pins because it has twice the kinetic energy. But somehow no bowler anywhere, okay, who wins money for bowling uses a lighter ball. They all use the heaviest ball possible, when the lightest ball possible will give them more energy. But you still know you're right. Fuck those bowlers. They don't know what they're doing.
$10 worth of aspirin in one sitting, though. Meter it out. I don't know. Maybe use Gary's units. Gary measures units in. Hold on. I got my notes here. He measures aspirin in newtons, joules, momentum, and watts. All of them simultaneously.
Yeah. So obviously I didn't do that simultaneously. So it's just another lie by the desperate assholes who have to lie. They can't win the argument on the facts. They have to lie. Lying is a sign of desperation. He knows he lost, and so all he's got is lies now. How many lies can I make up about what happened?
As he feels necessary. So it is so flat earth of him. All of the things, right? All these parallels. It's crazy.
Yes, it's so make your own religion and just defend it like a bunch of Allah lovers. You talk just like them, you act just like them, you're just complete assholes saying our God is God, and anybody who doesn't like it will mock you into the ground or kill you, whatever. Same difference.
Don't need a formula. When you say, well, what's the formula for the bottom-up obstruction? I don't need a formula. Well, yes you do. What's the formula for the...
You really don't. You don't need a formula to make a Roman arch. You don't need a formula to do almost anything, right? As long as you are careful about how you draw it, and recognize what the forces are and the variables are, you don't need a formula. But whatever, I'm not against formulas, I'm just against the ones that are completely made up and wrong, okay? There's no factual evidence that mv squared is connected to anything that really happens in the universe. So again, until you show me some kind of evidence, and you will show me nothing. You'll show me no evidence.
Downward acceleration. I don't need a formula. You're not going to replace the formula.
I don't need an experiment. 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 I don't need no stinking experiment. Yeah, I can do it from Blazing Saddles, right? We don't need no stinking experiments.
That completely works 100% of the time that we have with your nothingness. It's not going to work that way. Right? And he's like, this is your theory. Like, you didn't actually apply our theory right. And just like flat earthers, the globe predicted bottom-up obstruction because of the...
To get started in data analytics, you don't need previous experience or a degree. The Google Data Analytics Certificate...
According to the globe, you shouldn't see this mountain. It should be behind 70 billion miles of curve. Like, that's not our actual claim. Let me go through the actual claim. I don't want to go into math.
So he just said it's not the actual claim. So he just did it again. He's trying to justify the fact that he's saying it's not the actual claim of 1/2 mv squared, that if you increase the velocity, you'll get a quadratic increase in the energy product. When it's absolutely the truth, of course.
It's fake, blah, blah. That's it. Max says Gary got pwned and didn't like it. I mean, I do appreciate it. He stuck around. He was a trooper. But yeah, he was pretty rude. And I can't imagine there's people in his life that he spends time with on a regular basis. Sparky Steve says, good morning, everyone.
Yeah, so again, I can't either imagine what kind of piece of scum, okay, would live with a glib fucking cunt like you. I mean, you have everything you utter. I mean, again, I mean, it's hard to believe that you had kids and you didn't give them all kinds of psychological trauma, because it seems like you would just mock them, because that's all you know how to do, is lie about them and mock them. You know, you're a shit. You're a piece of shit. I mean, you have no integrity or dignity. I mean, that's the thing, right? I mean, it's just so undignified. Oh, it's my father's job. Well, he mocks stupid people and trolls.
Definitely not you, Gary. And Witsit, just waking up in England to go to the gym, listening to the street. God bless MCToon. And then an X. Thank you.
So you got a God bless. You got a God bless from the scientists. They're the big science defenders, and they appreciate it when somebody says God bless you. Oh, priceless. Let's see what this guy said. Llewellyn, cut wartheadin. I guess he's another one of them Englishters. PH Tony, you were really good trying to be patient with this guy. Appreciate it. He did get your ire, but you forwarded in a much calmer manner. Yeah, what he said was, the Professor Lewin experiment does not create more momentum in the direction, just as I stated, when of course it does. It's a free momentum experiment. Again, they'll take no accountability for, yes, it's true, you have more momentum going the same direction, and that can be capitalized on. If all I have to do is put another heavy weight in front of it, another heavy weight, another heavy weight, and I'll keep making more and more momentum by hitting heavier things. That's free energy.
Got Opal Vectra 2 with the first super chat from Opal Vectra 2. Says, stay away from drugs. Don't end like Gary. So I seem to remember somebody on his channel in one of his
Stay away from herpes, okay, and quit licking dogs' asses like this guy does, okay? He's a big dog ass licker, okay, and you'll probably live longer, okay? Yeah, so don't be a dog ass licker like him.
comments saying that he had some sort of a traumatic health issue when he was kind of young. So that could certainly explain things.
I don't know what that means. I didn't have any traumatic illness. What I had was reality. I found that people suck. And I was on a shitty, dirty, ugly, cruel planet. And I didn't think that was really going to do me very well. So it's kind of amazing I've survived as long as I have. Because, yes, I hate it on this planet of lying scum. I was always just an honest, generous, nice person. And I'm living on a planet full of lying thieves and crooks, people who will mistreat they'll mistreat their own family, let alone mistreat animals. I think you're all you're vomit worthy. I mean, I just wish I could make a giant fly and have it vomit on all of you and dissolve you. I wish I could.
Max is talking of Witsit. Did you see the TFE drama with the Witsit contract? I did this morning on Twitter, on X, where he made a bunch of claims about the contract that were completely the opposite. And then he posted how did we know? Well, he posted the actual screenshot where it was completely the opposite. I'll go over that in a minute. I got screenshots of it. It was glorious. First Law Flurf. Melodic Lyrics says, one day Gary will understand dimensional analysis. No, he won't.
So it doesn't change anything. You can't change. Dimensional analysis has nothing to do with momentum versus mv squared. It's just not a rational. There's nothing to say about it except if you want to argue about dimensional analysis in the context of relativity frames or something. But how does dimensional analysis prove kinetic energy?
He definitely won't. Seriously, I was teaching my daughter yesterday dimensional analysis, and I was like, this is like the silver bullet when doing problems, when doing physics. Do the dimensional analysis early, so that when you get through it, if you're like, oh, I came out with the wrong units at the end, where did I make the mistake?
Well, do a force diagram. No, that would be even better.
Well, trace back where the units started to mismatch. There's the units mismatch. You don't even necessarily always need to see, well, where did I get the algebra wrong? Where did I get the, because if you don't do that, you got to like retrace everything. Reapply the formulas, the algorithms for algebra here, algebra here, algebra here. If you don't need to do that. If you unit mismatch, boom, that was the spot. It's huge. If you can learn to love dimensional analysis, people. If you're doing physics, get in that right now. If you don't know what I'm talking about.
You wonder whether his kids actually watch this and say, this is what you do? You encourage people to insult other people in gratuitous and nonsensical ways, okay, instead of just make your argument and say, look, this guy's saying things that aren't true, and this is why they're not true. And you can't do that with any dignity at all? And you do this in front of your kids? Pretty bad. So Clive had something else to say here. So this is the guy who's at Cambridge, I think. Was he brain donor? Was he a brain donor? This is what PhD candidates do. I don't know whether it's PhD can. Yeah, he's still in school, I think. But it's so pitiful.
Look it up. Mark W says, "Oh my, wits at debunk 2. You're spoiling us." Oh yeah, we get it. Again, I got screenshots. He deleted all his tweets. I only got 2 screenshots, maybe 3. He got destroyed and deleted all his tweets, and then blocked everybody. Melodic Layer says, "Gary, love the enthusiasm. Gravity is a function of position." And he didn't get that, did he? He didn't. It's the length. Oh, poor guy.
So again, they're arguing that somehow dropping 4 units of distance in gravity means you got 4 units of gravity, when clearly it's only twice the time in the force. That's 9.8 meters per 1 second. 2 seconds equals 2 units. You have 2 units of velocity, so you have a pretty good indicator that you only got 2 units of force. And they're going to argue that somehow it's obvious that it's 4 units of energy? It's obvious? And again, they've never done the fucking experiment. If I do it on a lever, the lever says you need 4 times the velocity in the 1 mass to equal the 4 mass. That's what the lever, the balance says. You want to balance it, you have to have 4 times the velocity in the 1 mass to equal 4 pounds going 1 velocity. So the lever says it. The own overt landing speed of the object says it's only 2 units of force. It's only 2 units of gravity. And yet they're going to insist, okay, that all you need is twice the velocity to have 4 times the energy. They're going to insist. And then they're going to insist that if it was 3 times the velocity, it'd be 9 times the energy. So all I have to do is drop it again, okay, from another half height, and I'll have 9 times the energy. 3 times the velocity, 9 times the energy. That's the theory you're defending this obnoxiously. You're so confident that you can mock anyone who says that doesn't really make sense. Especially when I know it's only twice the velocity and I know it's only 2 seconds. 4 times the distance, 2 seconds. Not 4 seconds. But I deserve to be ridiculed because I don't believe it. And you can't show me a single fucking experiment showing me. And yet I should be mocked because I don't believe it.
In one of his, he has all these 5-minute videos. He's like, in the first second, it moves this far. And then in the next second, it moves this far.
So he watched the videos and he wouldn't argue kinetic energy. I had to badger him to do it, right? So that's the subject I initially told him, yes, I want to argue kinetic energy or the double slit experiment. Those are the 2 big ones I put on the list. And through the whole negotiation, he kept trying to change it to some other subject. What a weasel. So he's watched the video and he ran away from the subject. So he's showing Galileo 1, 3, 5, 7, proving there's no need for any extra energy. The 9.8 gives you free 2 units of distance for free because you're already going 9.8 per second. So you get 2 4.9s for free. And then what's the last one you get? The third one? Well, the third one is your 4.9. and you're increased to another 9.8. So you have 19.8. I mean, nobody can argue that and play the video and argue that something I said in that video is wrong. Every single fucking thing I said in that video is 100% right. And you're going half your velocity here. So here he is showing you this and this, the 3 versus the 1. You're going half your speed here. Now, isn't that a gigantic giveaway that it's not linear? That it's not unit of energy, unit of energy, unit of energy, unit of energy. You're going half your speed. Right over here. God, you people are such weasels.
I can't make my hand listen. The first second moves this far, and the next second moves this far. How is that? That velocity squared doesn't work. I'm like, dude, you're just showing velocity squared. He doesn't get that over this.
Yes. So again, he's going to keep arguing that somehow it's energy squared. When, no, that second bigger distance is because you were going faster. It wasn't because you were accelerating faster. You only got 1 unit of acceleration in that a second of time. You got 1 unit of 4.9 and 1 unit of 9.8. And that's all you got. Asshole.
Section here, it went from 0 to non-zero, right? 10, say, right? And then starting here, it was already going 10.
Right, you were going half your speed after only going 1/4 of the distance. And the opposite when you're getting slowed down by gravity, obviously. You're going half your speed after going 3/4 of the distance. Obviously not linear.
So for this entire section, 10 is the base, plus the more than 10, right? More. So that's why it went farther this second chunk of time, because it was already going 10. It compounds. He doesn't get that.
So it's just an absolute lie. It's exactly my argument. I just can't, it's amazing. After you get the first unit of gravity, I could turn gravity off, and you still have the 9.8. So you'll just keep going those 2 extra 4.9s. You'll get those 2 extra 4.9s every second. Amazing.
And he thinks he's smarter than all physicists. Amazing. Icy spins his first law of Flirp incoming, folks. Oh yeah, we all saw it.
So the argument isn't that I'm smarter, it's that I'm less stupid. I don't have crap in my brain. I have a crap filter, and I'm capable and able to see crap and say it's crap. I knew God was a fake, phony, fraud story when I was 5 years old. I knew Santa was bullshit almost as soon as they said the word, because I said, why the fuck would he be called that silly name? I also lived where there was no chimneys, so, I mean, come on. It was pretty easy. But even if I had lived where there's chimneys, well, I actually took, vacations every summer, so I went to houses that have chimneys and actually looked up them when I was 5 years old just to see how they work, and I see a little tiny hole. There's no big opening to the sky. How's Fatty going to get through that? Well, anyway, I mean, it's just so, this is so pathetic. Human race is pathetic. You are pathetic. You can't make a reasoned argument about anything, and especially when it's your religion, and that's all you people are. You're just fucking goddamn religious dupes. You'll believe whatever the bishops tell you.
I saw you in the chat. You're all like, oh, it's coming. Oh, we're going to watch it. G-Max says, I just got up. I need to watch this fun later. Oh, yeah, it was fun. Jaz Incarnate says, well done to you and your guests for putting up with him. We are the stupid 99% doing a disservice to science and physics. I get.
There you go. Okay, so at least you're admitting it. Okay, so there, bravo. At least one of you admits that all you are is moronic, childish fools who can't make a counter argument or provide anything called physical experimental evidence. So you have absolutely no evidence defending your God theory, and you're just going to sit there and assert to reasonable people that they should believe. They must believe, or we'll mock you if you don't believe. And that's all they have. I mean, obviously mockery isn't going to bother me, but I'm just saying it's... I suppose it works for some people. Mocking, I suppose it makes people feel better, when some moron says, I ain't related to no Minky. And so it kind of gets all the, good old time religioners, motivates them when you make a good witticism against the evildoers. And that's all these fucking buffoons are. These herpy carrying fucking dog ass licking bastards.
Yes. Must be. It's like, you remember when I debated Iggy, and Iggy didn't understand, what did he not understand? And it was a PhD Tony that he had talked with prior that he didn't understand this basic, somebody help me. What was it that anyway, he's like, everybody's wrong, everybody in science is wrong, but he's right. And that was the same thing here, right? Like Gary's like, you're doing a disservice to physics, but literally everybody in physics, I'm just in line with them. And Gary is the outlier. He's the one guy that's saying the opposite of what physics says. So how could...
I'm saying what physics says, okay, if you stop at Newton's third law, okay? So yeah, if you stick with what Newton said, there's not too much wrong. I mean, I can't off the top of my head. I mean, I would rephrase what he said, okay? I mean, the second law is about exchanging. So I would make it more clear that you can give the force you have to something else. And that means you've lost energy and they've gained it. I mean, that's all. The energy is transferred from object to object would be a better law, okay?
All of the people in physics that do physics, apply physics, get jobs done, are held accountable for the things that they do when they do physics, and it works. How could all of them...
So it works. They keep saying it works when, well, I haven't seen the quantum computer do any work in 15 years now? 15 years. I don't see any of that fusion stuff working either. So far, that's kind of a dead end, right? Billions of dollars trying to smash hydrogen nucleuses, right? You're trying to smash hydrogen atoms. Guess what? Into helium nucleuses. Guess what? That's work. That's not going to give you any fucking energy, you retards. You need to break atoms to get energy. It's just, come on. Who the fuck could think pushing something, compressing it more would produce extra energy? It don't work that way.
Be doing the disservice to physics and Gary, who doesn't do a thing.
I mean, blowing balloons up is work, right? Popping them is fun. All right, so Gary doesn't do a thing, he just said. I mean, obviously, I've spent a good 15 years on this now. And I would argue that my simulation will, over time, rule, okay? It will win because it's so simple. And no one's going to come up with a physical theory of what causes charge that will ever outdo it in simplicity.
None of his application, none of his ideas, none of them are applied in real life. Where somebody says, design something for me that does this. He doesn't.
All right, so this is just a lie. So obviously kinetic energy isn't applied. I just pointed out how it didn't land us on the moon. They had the formula and they didn't use it because it doesn't work. So what are you talking about? Again, you haven't proven that a NASA engineer actually calculates the kinetic energy of the thrust to tell how much thrust the rocket will get. They calculate the kinetic energy to talk about the fuel and how much power the fuel has. So that doesn't make any difference, right? Because they can just make up any number for the fuel. It's like making up a number for an atomic bomb and you just say it's 40 kilotons. Well, if you look it up, they have no idea. So they just made up the numbers. Because there's nothing to compare it to. So they can't, compare it to dynamite, but we have no way of testing that.
Do that. Create a physical object that does this, applying your actual claimed understanding of physics. Nothing. No accountability. Again, another parallel.
So it's just a lie. No accountability. What are you talking about? So I'm just saying, whatever. It doesn't really matter because the two-slit experiment doesn't make anything. Okay, Copenhagen and many worlds and all of these silly physics theories, none of them do anything. All right, they don't make your watch work better. They don't do a damn thing. And it's a complete lie to say that integrated circuits were made by entanglement. They weren't. I was alive then. I read the books written about what was done, and it was all a chemistry. It was all about just doping the wafers, and that's all it was with chemistry. There was no woolicles involved. So it's all a lie to say our technology wouldn't exist without this abstract nonsense without relativity. Relativity hasn't made anything work better. It hasn't made a better apple picking machine. It hasn't done a goddamn fucking thing. So quit lying about what physics does.
With flirts, with flat earthers. They can claim this is how gravity works, but there's no accountability for it. They don't ever get to a point where they take their claims and apply it to real world situations. Nobody expects that from them. They're just in there.
All right, so he's just lying, okay? I have tons of videos showing I did the fucking goddamn lever experiment. These experiments have been attempted, and I have cited other experiments where it is done. So I pointed out Mythbusters crashed the cars. So why don't you explain why there was absolutely no indication of anything more than twice the damage? Nothing. No indication of anything like 3 times the damage or 1.7 times the damage. Nothing. No indication of anything going anywhere close to 4 times the damage. So why don't you explain why?
Chamber spouting off nonsense. X-Penguin95 says, I don't understand, so it makes no sense. Pure, ultra crepidarian behavior. Yep. Who stole? Halleck says, Gary, play this video. Play this video, play this video. Okay, but this part here is obviously fake, so it proves I'm right. Absolutely.
That's not what happened, but okay, I told him to play the video. I pointed out I've watched it 100 times. I mean, it's something I'm aware of. I use it as an argument against your theory because it's a free momentum experiment. I mean, how many times do I have to say it? You really think you can make free momentum in a direction. So the moron made that comment. You really think you can make free momentum in a direction, and that's not a paradoxical problem. So I could just redo the same experiment over and over and over, just creating heavier and heavier masses, and I can just keep increasing the momentum. Amazing that you people think that's a viable reality. Obviously, nobody can do it because no one's doing it. Do you understand? I mean, obviously, all the free energy nuts would be doing it if it made free energy. It obviously doesn't happen. That's why they're not doing it. It's because it doesn't work.
The hubris that for him to just blindly claim that
look
Walter Lewin
at
was lying about the math.
asshole talking about hubris. You're gonna fall hard into the pile of the ash heap of shit. Okay, the ash heap of history. You are going to land hard right in your fucking ugly face, right into that pile of shit, you fucker. I'm going to bury you in that shit pile of another shit talker on the fucking internet, another asshole talking way above his pay grade, all right, pretending he knows something. When you don't know shit, Batman. Who the fuck as an adult wears a Batman shirt? Who the fuck does that?
Steve660 says output velocities were negative 1/3 and plus 2/3, not plus 4/3. Negative 1/3. What am I?
It's negative 1/3, the 33. I mean, it's 100 goes in, 33 goes this way, 133 goes that way. It's 2/3 instead of that. The twice as massive cart, you would say, to conserve momentum, it would have to go half the speed. It can't go 2/3 of the speed, right? Because that's free momentum. But that's what it does. So that's the whole point of the argument. And again, if he would have let me, I told him he does it the same experiment in the end of that lecture, except it's the elastic version. And the two carts don't stick to each other and they bounce. And the amount of energy is perfectly consistent with momentum being conserved. All right, the 2-mass cart leaves with less than half the velocity, and the other cart, is moving with the remainder. So it just illustrates that, oh, well, those two experiments aren't really agreeing with each other, are they? I mean, liar, liar, pants on fire.
That's this one here.
I mean, we know springs don't make an elastic collision. They make a super elastic collision. That is, they disproportionately give more energy to the forward moving object. It's like throwing a rubber ball at a moving car. It comes at you with higher velocity, right? Because it's taking some of the car's energy plus its own reflection. So it leaves with more than it should if the car wasn't moving.
The velocities were negative. Yeah, I went backwards and plus 2/3. But it wasn't plus...
Springs matter.
Wait, hold on. I'll get the video back. We'll get the numbers. So we've got, there's one clip, there it is, 0.123, 0.186, and 0.357 is the 0.86, is that the, I have to rewatch the video, I think the 0.18.
The small number is the cart coming in. The second number is the two mass leaving, and the third number is the one mass's reflection.
6 is the input velocity.
So you're going to see this one come in, give you the time here. This one go through here, give you the time here. This one will come back, give you the time here. ID 0. Okay. You ready? Yeah. There we go.
Okay, so the 0.123 is the in.
So you can ask the question, why is he using a spring? Right? It's supposed to work for an elastic collision. So all I really need to have is a little ball bearing on the end of this cart and a little ball bearing on the end of that cart, a hard surface. Let the two hard surfaces hit each other and an experiment should work just as well. Why do they always use a spring? Always. Every single time they use a spring. Why? Because it helps with the illusion, that's why. Ugh.
Velocity, is that right?
Okay. You ready? Yeah. There we go.
All right, there it is. Yep, so the 0.123 is the input velocity, and then the output velocity is on the right side, the 0.33, because it's already being measured. And then right about now, the large one, which is getting measured in the center. There it is. Okay, 0.86. So the input is 0.123 to the right. The output then is 0.186 left and 0.375 to the right. So they're all greater than the input velocity, but they're in opposite directions. So here.
What does that mean? Oh, that's right. It doesn't mean anything. The point is you had 100 atoms, let's say, moving, whatever it is, 10 velocity going in, right? And now coming out of the experiment, you have 133 going one direction at 10, and you have because it's all this, it's the same amount of momentum, and you have 33 little balls going the other way 10. So you now have 166 of the same momentum in the universe. So you only put 100 in to the universe, and you have now 166 in the universe. And that's supposed to be what you call rational physics. Yeah, that's it. And if I think that's irrational, if I think that's crazy to think the universe can do that the universe can just poof more movement into material objects, it doesn't have to have the money. It goes in with $100. I have an interaction, and all of a sudden, he's got $133, and I still have 33. Yeah, I don't think that's rational or logical. I don't think that can happen anywhere. All right? And these assholes will mock you for saying, there's something wrong, right? That can't really work that way. And can't I just keep exploiting that? I mean, can I keep doing the same interaction over and over again and keep increasing how much money I have? Oh, it's pathetic.
There we go. Oh, man. Can you imagine this? Generally, Shady says, Lindsay and Gary versus Toon and FDFE debate. Mind boggles. Well, I would like to see a Lindsay and Gary debate.
I don't know what a Lindsay is, but no, I want to debate these shit talkers. So the shit talkers in the chat, I want to debate them. Yeah. Do any of them know how to make a video? So we'll try to find channels where these morons are actually making videos, and then we'll just say, go ahead, you shit talked. So back it up.
Beyond Storm Chasing says, imagine having access to a
coward. Yeah. Oh, you're going to just hide behind a rock? You're going to throw your shit and then hide behind a rock? Is that what you're going to do, PhD Tony? You little weasel. You little chicken shit. Chicken shit, chicken shit, chicken shit. You'll make a video over your bald head just going, chicken shit, chicken shit.
Entire panel of enthusiastic experts with a breadth of knowledge and learning nothing. Exactly. Okay. I've got some mail to open, and I've got some Witsit to
yeah, that's probably really interesting.
He really He really did
I'll
mess things up today. Okay.
I'll speed up a little
So let's
more.
have a look first at this. So, according to this contract, that's off the screens on purpose.
Okay, well,
Which it says, according to this
much
contract,
better.
if my flight to South America were canceled for some unknown reason, unforeseen reason,
ahead.
I did not do that.
We began our lives in the forests and mountains in northern Sweden.
Because M2M asked Will, sent to Bill
Jump ahead.
in the mail to me. What's that called? Just anybody in the chat. What's it called if they Swanson? He's a Delta.
So
Delta.
we got
I
some
don't know.
fake
I mean, normally I
mail
just check these in
from
the mail. But,
somebody.
okay.
I don't know. There's a
Let's-
coincidence that somebody's named Gary.
Let's zoom out
It's
here a
funny.
bit here.
And it's
Of how they work. I want to have a better idea. So anyway, and then I'll show you a cover up. Again, not that I don't want to say your name, but I don't want to dox you if you don't want to be. So if like, I'm happy to show these things, but it's good if you like let me know or assign it in a way that is good. Anyway, Toon, thank you for everything you do. I hope these air navigation, dead reckoning computers find a nice place in your collection. May you find them as interesting and cool as we have. So that's from Keith, and then Keith's son. I won't put anything. So they basically landed and then were in quarantine in lockdown for a couple years. Anyway, and so like if your flight is third super chat right there. Thank you very much, Josh, for your third super chat. Okay. That's all right. Oh yeah, tomorrow. I might do something tomorrow night. It'd be late. We'll see. All right, people. Thanks. Here we go. MCToon. Roll up. All right.
So these are all the morons who pay this asshole money. I'll have to go see his Patreon channel actually says how much fucking money this weasel squeezes out of these fucking morons.
Let it flow. Let yourself.
Lovebot, Lady Moonweb, La Gunga, whatever that is, a Lori. So Leslie, he seems to have a lot of women's. So Aaron, a madman. So a madman.
So I know that it's step up.
So, yeah, let's do this.
Alter ego. Let's see.
Let's do this. Yo.
MA9X. Wow. M2M. That sounds.
It's MCToon. My shadow fighter face the moon.
Look at the number of these
cartoons.
This is alphabetical. It's gonna go forever. Oh, disgusting. So disgusting. Ugh, I hate this planet. Alright. So, good. We can do some chattings of the commenters. 252. Well, let's see. I probably should start pretty far down here. Yeah, it's going to take a while. Let's see if I get to the end of the comment section. I think I only did about 50, so let's see. Very strong new top left. Whatever that is. I'd definitely be exploring Unimatic. I don't know what that is. Galileo dropped balls into clay from varying heights and noted that the clay displaced roughly the energy of the ball at impact increased with the square of the velocity of the falling ball. So why then would the gravistand guy be noted in the annals of physics as the guy who did that experiment if Galileo had already done it? So I don't think you have that right, fucker. And the point is the experiment was done denting the clay, not penetrating the clay. So you're only partially going with the round surface. And I think any idiot can figure out the bottom of a circle is very flat, and the sides of a circle are very, very unflat. So I think any idiot who knows anything about physics would understand that that's essentially like dropping an arrowhead. It's not going to give you a proportional result. But anyway, they just keep claiming it. So people were fooled in the 1700s by that experiment. And you could say, well, that's pretty bad. But people being fooled by it in 2024, that's really bad. Okay. They experiment. Okay, so they experiment this dude claims was never done, was in part in how kinetic energy was discovered. So I never said the experiment wasn't done, and I have numerous videos pointing out how it's bad science to think that's the way you measure energy, by denting a surface with a round object. That's a very poor way to measure energy. So you're an asshole, teen raper. Is that his name? Teen raper, I think it says. Okay. Gary, am good at smarts, at the smarts. Durf new. Okay, well, that was a waste of time. Hello, Hello, MCToon. FYI. Oh, this is some guy I've seen before. So he's one of us. Okay. This guy Draft is seriously disturbed. Right? Yeah. So he's opposing us. Wow. You can't do that. Okay. On his website, he has a hall of vengeance. So it's not vengeance, it's just pointing out that these are cowards. These people will say shit, but they won't back it up. And even when you offer them fair payment, that is thousands of dollars, they don't show up to fight. Okay. Listing all the scientists he has harassed over the years. So my harassment, so see, again, they always have to resort to lies. My harassment was I sent them one email, okay, inviting them to debunk me and make fun of me, and I will pay them $2,000 to do it. So that's the extent of my harassment. Okay. He has crude, insulting scribble over the pictures and has vowed revenge against them all. So this is just a lie. So whatever, you can't do much about liars. He goes through the garbage performance every few months with a new person, okay, and then screams and rages and threatens them on his YouTube channel. So it's just a lie. I haven't threatened anyone, so just lie some more. The guy has not had a job in over 40 years, so that's sort of a invasion of privacy. And so, MCToon, you know, if that's what you want. I mean, I'll start talking about your kids on my channel. Is that okay? And I'll type shit about your kids on my channel. Is that okay? You fucker. Anyway, so, well, we're done reading that. All right, so that's just bullshit. Let's see what asshole said to it. The entire time I read through this, I just pictured Steve something or other, character from Billy Manson. Okay, so these people just can't get past their movies made for 14-year-olds. Let's see what else. Still have not seen Billy Manson. Okay, so that's all they got. All right, so fuck that. So there's Dark Endless. We won't bother with that. The science is always over my head, but one thing is obvious. The guy is suffering from a level of mental illness. So you're mentally ill if you don't understand free energy. And if you don't think scientists should definitely call stuff living force, because that's really, it's so scientific. It sounds so scientific to have a living force. Oh, God. Similar to Flurf. So what the hell is this? Wolfgang Beer. Bieber? What's a Wolfgang Bieber? Alright, anyway, a lot of Gary's opinions revolve apparently around the fact that he thinks we use kinetic energy in Newton's third law. Why would I think you use it in Newton's third law when it completely violates Newton's third law? Always violates it when you change the mass. Always. In every single instance. Okay? But nobody does. So what does that even mean? Everybody uses momentum in the third law. Kinetic energy is used to compute, for instance, how much velocity you build up from a loss of potential energy. You should read the textbooks correctly. So it's just a lie that anything you just said makes any goddamn sense at all. They claim it's energy. Do you understand the word energy? It's not the word fake stuff that we calculate because we like to calculate fake things. It's in joules, you motherfucker. It's in what can be converted directly into watts. He's saying something has 500 watts of energy. Okay, it's a real thing, like a temperature. You can't claim, oh, it's not really a temperature. It's, you know, it's 74 degrees, but not really 74 degrees. You get it? Oh, amazing. Darth Dawkins. Is that you? or all internet Garys this narcissistic? So again, the narcissism part could possibly make some kind of difference. It's somehow important somewhere. Let's say I was a dog fucker. Is that what you're going to use? Oh, he's a dog fucker. He can't possibly know any physics. I mean, what's your standard? Oh, it's just amazing. Let's see. Hates energy, loves momentum. No, I like rational and reasonable. And I know things like there is no free lunch. There's no free energy. So when you're making free momentum, you're making free energy. All right. Lacks impulse control. Whatever. This shitbird reminds me of Eric Schultz's character in Mask. Well, that's really... Isn't that amazing, too? Let's mock their appearance. Yeah, that's really important, so let's do it. So let's call the little fat girl Fatty. All right, let's call the bald guy Baldy. All right, let's do it. Oh, fuck. And reward it. I'm surprised they didn't give him a little heart symbol for that. Let's see. His subscribers' intake remind me more of Eric Schultz in Pulp Fiction. Okay, I don't know who that is. I mean, I remember Pulp Fiction, but I don't remember the characters in it hardly. Isn't that a John Travolta movie? Anyway, wow, this guy, get killed in the end, which I love. I love watching Tom Cruise or Travolta get killed. Wow, this guy is the smartest person who has ever lived, even smarter than Flatzoid, is that what it says? And 60 IQ, blah, blah. Well, there's some guy who's calling himself Mr. IQ. He's got a whole channel devoted to the fact that he's just so lamenting because he's too smart for this planet. And he's one of you. Thank God for these people, or we could not function at all. That's right. You don't have anything better to do with your time than fake that you actually won an argument. That's all you can do. Let's just fake it and it'll be fun. We'll just pretend we won when you decidedly lost. Okay. Fire all the teachers. Well, whatever. I think that's a great idea to fire all the teachers. Just pay kids to learn. Okay? Give them $20,000 if they can pass a GED. We don't need any teachers then. And we'll save a fortune. You'll save per kid, literally, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Pay the kid, let's make it 25 grand, right? 25 grand to pass a GED. You don't think kids are going to try to pass a GED, and they might be doing it when they're 15 years old, or 10 years old, or 12 years old. You will be way ahead of the game. I'm having an idea. You don't like ideas. You don't like somebody doing something logical or smart. No, we're all about staying really stupid and keep doing things the same stupid way forever. Because that's so much better. Okay, yes, keep bowing to your totem poles, your Leibnizian fucking, it's V squared, let's pray to it. Oh, you're such assholes. Okay, want to buy one of those momentums. Ha 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 ha. What the hell that could mean. So Watto is Farley. So he's one of my little haters. Gary is a hopeless case who doesn't understand middle school math or mechanics. Well, whatever that is beyond help. So it's just a waste of time. Having said that, I consider you, MCToon, to be a loser of this debate for two reasons. Firstly, there is the Chinese proverb that says the first person to hurl abuse admits that they have lost the debate. Well, yes, obviously he was the first, and he just kept doing it. He would waste my time reading chat. Yeah. Why would you waste my time doing that? All right, anyway. In this debate, it was you who drew first blood by calling him a science denier, which makes you the loser of the debate. Even you made a fool of yourself by saying that the gun and the bullet have the same number of joules. I don't remember that part, but boy, that's really stupid too. Okay. Secondly, debunking flat earthers, which eventually is your mainstay, is like debating mentally disabled people. It's like making fun of mentally disabled people. He might as well hire himself out as a aide on a little yellow bus, because that's all he's doing. He's making money mocking really, really stupid people. are compulsive liars who they want the attention. So he's giving attention whores what they want, or he's mocking people who have a catastrophic mental deficit and making money doing it. Yes, he is a cretin. So anyway, you didn't put in here the fact that he denied the very core of what mv squared means, which is energy quadratically grows with velocity. It's exactly what the fucking formula says. For every increase in velocity, there's a quadratic growth in the energy produced. That's the essence of the fucking formula. And he denied that. Okay, is that silent R in draft physics? Is that dog liquor? Is that what MT means, or whatever the fuck it is? Dog ass liquor. Yeah, that's what it means. Let's see. Unimatic is definitely on my radar now. Looking forward to exploring their platform. I don't know what the hell that is. So I guess that's the camera he's selling. I don't know. All right, Gary Busey, less educated, angry brother. Right. So, I mean, I really don't mind being compared to, any actor. But most people use that guy from, that lion guy. But whatever. Play along. How do you get these people, and how can they put their pants on in the morning without hurting themselves? So again, I'm going to bury you, Limid. Okay, Limid. You're an idiot. Okay, and you deserve to have your grave pissed on. So again, I'll tell the future, if my charge simulation actually turns out to be, yes, that's a pretty goddamn good theory, and all the rest of this shit, then please, future, make sure Lamed pays a price for this rude, obnoxious nonsense. He has no right to pretend he knows more than me, that he's smarter than me, that he's beaten me in an argument or a debate. You have no right to pretend that, fucker, because you haven't done it, fucker. You little weaselly coward. All right. Gary, they're right, you're wrong. Wow, that's a convincing argument. Damn. Good thing they didn't say that in the debate. I would have been ruined. That's why they have a job and you don't. Okay. A job doing what? Do you know what jobs I've applied for? I don't know. How do you? Anyway, it's rather amusing watching a PhD student being baffled by irrational, belligerent crank. Well, the fact that he was baffled, the fact that he couldn't make an articulate statement defending his nonsense, in the sense of just saying, well, we have lots of scientific experiments demonstrating that it does in fact take 25 times the fuel to spin a motor 5 times as fast. But they can't say that because they don't have it. Now, they could say, oh, we've dropped 4 pounds 1 foot and 1 pound 4 feet a lot of times, and yes, definitely same amount of energy. Twice the velocity, same thing, okay? 1 mass with twice the velocity, same as a 4 mass with 1 velocity. Yep. Okay, perhaps instead of laws of Flurf, the universal laws of whatever that is, chicanery, are laws of quackery. So again, they think I'm a quack or, some kind of fraud. I've been spending 15 years thinking about physical concepts and trying to come up with better answers than wavicle or gluon. You think gluon is a good answer to a question? You think there's actually a particle that, like a frog, it sticks its tongue out and sticks to a proton, and it pulls the proton to the other proton. You think, why didn't they call it frogon or something? A frogaton. They could call it a frogaton. Yeah, frogatons make the strong force. Yeah, frogatons do it. Oh, fuck you. Okay. They would not be as concise as the original, but broader in scope. I don't even know. That doesn't even mean anything. Oh, good. He's actually paying attention to the fucking experiment. So here we go. We got a comment on the experiments. The ballistic pendulum is an experiment I have done in class 1,000 times. So he's shot a gun into a ballistic pendulum 1,000 times. Well, you can do it with actually a device. You can just buy a little hammer device. You know, and it just whacks a ball into the pendulum. The gun mass has nothing to do with it. Yes, where did I say the gun mass has anything to do with it? I didn't say it has anything to do with it at all. So these people are such compulsive liars. I said nothing about the gun regarding the ballistic pendulum. I pointed out that the bullet has 2,000 joules of energy, and only 1/1000th of that energy moves the pendulum. That's what I said. Okay. I have just ordered a new CO2 air rifle for my new colleague. So MV equals MV. So what does that even mean? MV equals MV. I don't know. God, this guy is insane, I guess. Then the height of the block you shoot. The height of the block you shoot. Well, this guy's obviously fucking nuts. Has MGH, 1/2 MV squared, so speed of block is squirt to GH. And then I went over to the dog's anus and licked it very hard. It was very lovely. I'm so glad all us anus dog lickers can get together and talk about how great it is to lick dog ass. Okay. Yeah, that was really weird. Fuck. I'm sorry, just imagining a guy for 1,000. He does the experiment 1,000 times because he can't figure out what the results are, right? Yeah, I kept shooting the ballistic pendulum 1,000 times. And I couldn't kill it. Why would I shoot the poor thing 1,000 times? He's like a cop, you know. I couldn't help it. I had to shoot the guy 643 times. I had to. I just couldn't help it. Oh, that's just priceless. Okay, ha ha ha. The experiment Gary cited showed he was wrong. So that's just a lie, okay? It was exactly what I told you it was going to be, a free energy experiment. So, I mean, these people are so dishonest. Well, he is the 2 brain cells away from Flurf. Har, har, hardy, har, har. Let's go find this asshole's channel. He has an icon. So let's see if we can make this jackass. Oh, no content. Heinz. I'm already going very bald, but it doesn't matter because it makes it easier for my head to fit in the dog's ass. Yeah, I lick the dog's ass and then I stick my head in the dog's ass. Because I'm a flirt fighter. God. Alright, the debate with Gary is one of the best in years. The dregs of the earth have really become slimy. I don't know what that is. Slim pickings over the past couple of years, as more and more, and most of them only want to hang out in their echo chambers, endlessly confirming each other's bias. Well, that doesn't sound right. So I don't think the flat earthers are doing anything but trying to get your attention. Also, MCToon, hope you consider doing an analysis of which shit's Holocaust denial stream from earlier this afternoon. So I don't know who Witsits is. So, but anyway, yeah, well, obviously they have interests I'm not interested in. I'm seeing the issue here. This guy doesn't under set of equation. This guy doesn't under set of equations. Okay, that was really brilliant. He went from top left to exiting at the bottom right. Regarding Witless, his donations are tax exempt. Okay, so they're not even on the subject, whatever. I'm happy I don't have a friend like this fool. Well, the feeling is mutual. because goddamn, you people sticking your heads up dogs' asses probably don't smell very good. Force equals blah blah, or time rate of change of momentum, and this has got to be a girl or something. And it is the law of conservation of momentum. So conservation of momentum proves kinetic energy. Oh, okay. That gives machines like catapults and crossbows and guns and rockets a recoil force. No, it's the third law that describes the consequence of, and obviously the cannonball has 1,000 times, generally speaking, more energy than the recoiling cannon. So how do you explain it? Explain how that's consistent with the third law, idiot. All right, the law of conservation of momentum is derived from Newton's third law. It doesn't need to be derived from it. It's the overt statement. So fuck you. So even they can't even take an overt statement. They say I have to derive it. No, you don't have to derive the overt statement of equal and opposite. The two sides have to match. Oh God, what an idiot. The rocket equation is derived from the law of calm. I don't know what that is. That's another head up your ass thing. Rocket propulsion is just the mechanical recoil of pushing out mass. Yes, obviously kinetic energy can't be used because there's no third law connection. Your rocket will not get the kinetic energy of the exhaust. The kinetic energy of the exhaust will not go into the rocket. Just as it's a fact that I can't shoot bullets out of my spaceship and get more energy than shooting recoiling guns out of the spaceship. I can't get any kinetic energy advantage. I can't use kinetic energy to move in space. We can calculate the thrust derived just as well or better than we can calculate bullet dynamics and ballistics. So that doesn't even make any sense. Calculate what? The kinetic energy can't be collected. It can't do work. You should be able to figure out, well, if it can't do any work and I can't collect it and I can't use it, why are we talking about it like it's real? Because, that's sort of the definition of not being real, is not being able to use it. If you can't use it, you can't find it, you can't store it, you can't do anything with it, then it probably doesn't exist. All right, damn, that guy is angry and stupid. I'm angry, but, and I'm just saying, James Stewart. Let's see, he's a real person. Let's see if he has any balls. All right, he has some videos, but it's playlist. Oh, too bad. So that's not going to help. Unedited videos. I wonder what that frightening thing is. Izzy Ka-Trip. Izzy Ka-Trip. Yeah. Well, they're not his videos, apparently, so I won't bother. Oh, and he calls himself James Stewart, so he steals James Stewart's identity. So he's a faker and a fraud. Okay. That's pretty disgusting, fella. I mean, if somebody could, if somebody knew your father or knew some part of your family and they stole that icon, would you appreciate that? Did you ask James Stewart if you could steal his image and use it and say shit that's shit? No, you probably didn't. Wait, while Des was looking for an attorney, he didn't come to me first. Sleeping warrior. I don't know why. Okay, anyway. Gary is that ranting lunatic who used to bother passerbys on Times Square when it was a kid in the 70s. I don't know what that is, but it's a lie. I was only in New York like twice. This is just sad. He clearly not well. Yeah, well, same to you. Oh, it's a James Stewart again. Why is this? Why is he doing this? More than one comment thing. I mean, why do people have a problem just taking their one turn and being appropriate about it? Why do they have to keep going? Look at me! Look at me! Why do they have to keep doing that? I worked in a machine shop equals I have a 160 IQ and my whole school teacher said I am a math star. I don't know what that even means. But the fact is, as I explained before, I actually did fail grammar school. And I was the youngest kid in the class, and they didn't keep me back. The school wouldn't do it. My parents asked them to keep me back a year, and the school said, no, we can't do it, because, they gave me a couple of I2Q tests, and they just said, no. No. He's too smart to keep back. Just a fact. I'm just pointing out. So, fuck you. That's what I'm going to say. Fuck you. All right. All you need to know about this guy is he doesn't like cats. Okay. So that's just a pathetic, awful, horrible lie. I actually became, I was a cat whisperer. Okay. I had one of those neighbors, what they call like the cat lady. At one time, she had 40 cats, and I actually, I didn't do surgery on a cat, but I mean, I really, it had an owl had tried to grab it, and so the talon broke off in the cat's neck, and and I had to open the wound and pull it out, and it was really, like 1.5 inches long, huge, stuck in its neck, for 3 months before I could get around, get to the cat and get it done. Because the cat was a feral cat. But anyway, calling me a cat hater is just disgusting. I hate the people. I don't want scurvy, lying scumbags to own cats. It makes me very unhappy that a cat has to live with an asshole. And these people are assholes. Okay, 100 units of anger plus 10 units of arrogance plus 50 units of ignorance. Well, you've all got kinetic energy, so it's 50 squared units of asshole. Dog asshole. Okay, I've seen kindergarten students with more self-control than Gary. And what kind of self-control was I supposed to exercise? I just love to put you to the test. Okay, so you could do 4 hours of just insipid, silly crap. You want to argue physics and experiments, and they want to argue the units. Units. L. You have to have L's and units, and mv squared doesn't have anything to do with quadratic increases in energy. That's not what it says. You could do that for 4 hours? Fuck, you could. Okay, Gary is a vile, horrible person and has the same mentality as a FERF. So I don't even know what that, I haven't seen, I don't hang out with, I don't even watch flat earth videos. Right? I mean, frankly, why the fuck would I do that? Too ridiculous. Okay. I mean, why you people even engage in this shit? It's hard for me to even understand why you wouldn't find it ridiculous and silly that you're actually doing, like, this is like cleaning up dog do or something. Why the fuck would you want to do that? Oh, that's right, I forgot they're dog ass lickers. Of course they like dog do. Of course they do. They're poo eaters. All right, he will only accept the photos he doesn't approve of, whatever that means. All experiments that challenge my paradigm are terrible, awful experiments. So you're saying there's no terrible and awful experiments. I'm just saying, what's your standard? You say the Eddington experiment isn't bad science. He admits he got 10% of the data quality doing a very difficult experiment. So even with perfect data, it was still a tough experiment. He got 10%. And he says right in his journal, I wouldn't stake my life on these results. And you still think, well, that's still, you can make a New York Times headline saying Einstein's right out of that. It's not a problem. All right, it's just, there's no point. Let's see, common side effects of long-term amphetamine abuse. And feminine abuse. Yeah, that might be better. Whatever. That's the best you can do. Mr. Herpes. All right. Gary is the kind of guy that would argue about anything and laugh about nothing. Yeah, I'll argue because I think it's the truth matters. It's vitally important to our function. There's people in the future who are going to look back and say, why didn't they care about the truth? Why did they fuck us that way? I mean, they had the facts right in front of them, like the global warming thing. They had the facts that the population is, in fact, too high for this planet. Lots of facts we had, and we didn't do a damn thing about it. Not a damn thing. All right, taking the time to watch the video with him was good, just showing to everyone watching that he was massively understood what the professor is doing. So again, I've played the video. I'll argue, okay? I've watched the video more times than anyone on Earth. There's no one who's watched the video more than I have. I wasn't surprised by anything. Jesus Christ. Fuck, I thought Gary was pretending to be stupid. Oh, isn't that funny? Let's see. There must be some NASA... This guy's got one of these, whatever. He's a pentagrammy guy. NASA rule against throwing elephants into space. Okay, that's really funny. Gary has the mental illness behind rhetoric and reckless reasons for about 14 minutes, whatever that means. But then his illness surfaced. He is right and everyone else is wrong. Now, I am honest and they're clearly liars. All right, and his sick mind then concludes that those who differ from him do not have the right to finish an answer to his accusatory condemnations. Where did they answer any of that? I mean, it's YouTube. You know, you can make videos and you can make your argument, okay? I mean, I've made tons of arguments playing other people's videos. Why can't any of you cowards do that? Just take one of my videos and make fun of it. You know, show how you're smarter than what's in the video. Show that you know better than what's in the video. I mean, MCToon proved that he watched the fucking video and he tried to evade the subject because he knows the video is too good. He can't beat it. He can't defeat it. He can only cheat the argument. If he can't cheat, he can't win. There's only one mental illness worse than Gary, and all high, whatever that means. I don't know. Is there a point? He didn't read more? Is there any point? Yeah, no, there's no point. I just looked up Dunning-Kruger, so what a waste of time. DK effects is strong. No, I don't know what that means. If you were building my rocket, I would not get on it. So that's what Fatty said. Okay, had me laughing so hard while looking at Gary's fury building on his face. So I don't even really remember that moment, but whatever. Let's see. It's good to question things, and science is falsifiable. That whole falsifiable word is just kind of sloppy. I mean, frankly, as a concept. A good theory doesn't have to be falsifiable. It just has to be logical. And the fact that you can't prove it today doesn't mean much. I mean, it shouldn't mean too much. You know, if I make a model of something that we can't see, like gravity or something, and the model does everything the gravity does, well, just because nobody can prove it's not like that, doesn't mean it's not a good theory. All right, well, anyway, let's see. The issue here isn't with science, so... Jesus. The very fact that these people aren't even, you know, it doesn't even bother them a little bit that they have this wacky concept of momentum and kinetic energy, and they don't agree with each other. So every time you change the energy from one mass to a different mass, you get these wacky conflicting numbers, and it doesn't even faze them. They don't even go, oh, gee, that is a little creepy, isn't it? All right, the issue here isn't with science, but Gary's approach. Gary isn't testing his claims. That's just a lie, but okay, fine. My argument is you've had 350 years to drop 4 pounds from 1 foot and drop 1 pound from 4 feet. The whole argument is over as soon as you do that experiment, from my point of view, right? If you can get some experiment to actually prove that 1 pound dropped 4 feet, that is 1 pound going twice the velocity, is the same as 4 pounds going 1 velocity, I'll concede the argument. And your physics in 350 fucking years can't do that experiment or something like it. Amazing. All right. I mean, clearly I'd love to see the 5 times thing. I mean, that's just so much better. So just show me it taking 25 times the fuel to make something go 5 times faster. Just show me that and it's all over. Okay. And like I said, I'll give you $10. Well, I mean, since you brought it up, I'll give you $100. How's that? I'll give you $100 if you can point me to the experiment. Okay. And when shown tested evidence that conflicts his claim, he rejects it. Yes, well, obviously, look, I'm not going to talk about the loony amateurs who've done these fucking idiotic experiments, matchbook cars into crackers. I mean, just completely idiotic experiments. Filthy, idiotic experiments, by the way. Such bullshit. And he believes his claim's unfalsifiable. And he believes his claim is unfalsifiable. I don't even know. Clearly, it's falsifiable. Just show me. Show me the car crash, okay, where, yeah, you crash the car at 100 miles an hour, and it does 4 times the damage of the crash at 50 miles an hour. Just show me that example. Oh, you people are just such lying weasels. All right, anyway. He is not engaging in science or in good faith. So I can't make it any easier, right? Just to make it easier for you people, I cut all these videos down to just 5 minutes. A clear scientific argument being made, presented, no bullshit, no nonsense. Just an explanation of what I have observed, that this works this way, and there's no way your theory can be right because it creates a paradox. And you will respond to none of it. All right, anyway. But he is engaging in pseudoscience. So what's this definition of pseudoscience? I'm just asking you to show something I've done in a video that's a lie or a deception. That's all. Quote it. You fucking scumbag. You lie about who I am and what I am doing on the internet. You fucking piece of dirty, smelly, rotten, goddamn Weasley shit. So again, this is a guy. Piss on this fucker's grave, please, the future. I mean, why should somebody be able to shit talk about somebody else like that and be rewarded for it? Yeah, you're just part of one of the fun gang. You're a lying sack of fucking goddamn dirty Weasley shit. You're a cretinous piece of puke. And he doesn't have any content. Unaccountable weasel. Alright. I never lie. Gary said whilst lying straight to our faces. So what was my... So you can't quote the fucking lie. What was the lie, you fucking unaccountable Weasley liar? I mean, just... Why do they have to do this? Why? I mean, they can't back up a single accusation with a piece of evidence. They just keep lying about lying. Oh, Jesus. Oh, great. Here's a physicist. All right, so let's see if he's got a channel. See if he can actually make a video, this weasel. This piece of fucking human garbage. Let's see if he has any balls. Let's see if he has a dick and a set of balls. He has a silly icon. But anyway, let's see what the videos say. Meve into Fireland's portal. Okay, so it's some sort of video game. Spy can't backstab. Okay, so I don't think so. Don't think it's a physicist, but whatever. Not a good one anyway. I'm a physics tutor. Okay, just a tutor. Trying to become a teacher. Well, you're going to fail. And one of the most important things I try teaching every student is how to lick my ass, because I'm really a dirty, creepy piece of scum. Oh dear, that's not nice. You shouldn't do that. All right, student is the importance of the pulling of the pants down. What? You shouldn't do that. No, 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 no. It's very dirty. First year students tend to be clean and smooth, and I really like to rub their high knees. You shouldn't say that. It's very rude. Jesus, these people. Oh, God. Oh. Anyway, first year students tend to try and ignore the units as much as possible and just deal with the numbers. I mean, it's just amazing. I don't think this is at all true. The units aren't complicated. Meters, seconds. Let's see, what's the other thing you can use? Volume, square feet. There's all kinds of different things you can use. I think what confuses them is that physics has 43 different ways to quantify a unit of energy. They have calorie, they have watt, they have joule, they have thermal unit, they have, goes on and on. Let's see. Well, anyway, so dimensional analysis is such an important skill in physics. It's just bullshit. These assholes don't know that 1 second times 1 second is not second squared. It's 1 second. Yeah. Dimensional analysis is such an important skill in physics. Yeah, it's just hilarious. Let's see. You can quite literally solve problems without knowing a single formula, as long as you look at the input and output units. So again, this is so irrelevant. The formula is, like I said, you don't even have, you can ignore the 1/2 because it's a constant. It doesn't mean anything. It's for both, any two things you're going to compare, the 1/2 would be the same. So it's just don't need it. It's mv squared versus mv. What the fuck? All right, anyway, Gary for some reason doesn't understand like units. Okay, so I'm just saying Newton didn't use Newton. He says my ass. Okay, so I really have to show it again where Newton talks about a 1 mass and a 2 mass. And then he talks about 5 units of velocity versus 10 units of velocity. There's no units. So they just keep lying more and more. Okay. So he keeps mixing up energy, workforce. Well, because they're all the same thing, retard. There's no other thing. Okay? There's energy, and the thing that causes it is force, and force is going to be proportional to the energy out. You can't make free energy. So you think you can, but I know you can't. So yes, it's all equal. And Newton thought so. F equals the change in your momentum over time. And if we slide time out and talk about the net force is the change in your momentum. Newton clearly said it. I mean, twice the force, twice the velocity. 3 times the force, 3 times the velocity. It's completely the same thing. The force is essentially equal to the velocity increase. All right. When someone disagrees and says, no, physics doesn't say an object going 5 times faster needs 25 times the work. All right, so he's actually agreeing with the liar, Toon. So he's doing more pseudo-science here, pretending this isn't true. He becomes angry and yells, your physics absolutely do demand it takes 25 times the energy. It has to take 25 times the energy to produce 25 times the energy. You don't understand that E has to equal E? E in has to equal E out. It's a translational energy equation. The E in has to equal the E out. All right. It's as if he literally makes no distinction between concepts and even words in his head. I don't even know what that means. The denial of acceleration being measured in meters per second squared is astounding. You measure the acceleration in meters per second squared. So if I see that the increase in velocity was 10 miles an hour, I should square it for some reason. It's 10 miles per hours squared. No, it isn't. There's no point. Okay, fuck it. All right, Brenda sounds like Genda Brenda. I don't know what that even means. Let's see. Holy shit. He thinks when you fire a gun, it doesn't go through you because it isn't pointed. So that never happened. He won't shut up long enough to hear what's being said to him. Well, because I already know goo goo gaga. I've heard that from morons before. So until you say something articulate and relevant, then yes, I'm not going to listen because I'm not going to waste my time. All right. Gary bleats, the ballistic pendulum only collects 1% of the energy. It's actually 0.1%. I said that in the video. 0.1%. Okay. Thus putting his Dunning-Kruger on parade. So how did I do that? By giving the correct and accurate number, I am proving I'm too stupid. A ballistic pendulum measures momentum, not energy. Oh, we've heard this before. It doesn't make any sense. They are attempting to collect the energy of the bullet. That's what they're trying to collect. Where is the energy then? If the energy can't move the pendulum, it means it can't do work. If it can't do work, why should anybody believe it's real? Oh, yeah, good question, right? The energy of the bullet must then be calculated from the measurement of the bullet's velocity. That's exactly what the momentum told Professor Lewin. That's what he did. He actually calculated the velocity of the bullet by recognizing conservation of momentum. Once he knew the momentum of the bullet, because he could collect that, then he could calculate the speed of the bullet. Retard. Okay. Somewhat further on, Gary's problems, 1 pound drop from 4 feet and 4 pounds from 1 foot. Not understanding that the momentum gained as a result of these two drops will not be the same. Not understanding that the momentum gained from these two drops will not be the same. I'm not claiming they're going to be the same. That's exactly my argument. The argument is, do those two things equal each other? And the argument is, of course they don't. Twice the velocity. Giving a 1 pound object 2 velocity will not equal, 4 pounds dropped 1 foot. 4 pounds at 1 velocity. You're claiming it is equal, and it isn't. I don't understand that point. Not understanding that momentum gained as a result of these two drops will not be the same. Yes, I'm saying that overtly to you. Okay, anyway. Just change your surname to happy dude. I don't know what that is, but whatever. I don't care what that is. Let's see. Does this asshole have a channel? I seem to remember this silly little icon. Yeah, this is the guy. Okay. So he makes a video once 4 years ago. Cursed with a high IQ. So he talks this shit and pretends he has a high IQ and he's talking absolute shit. But apparently he can make a video. Alright, so let's see if you can do that. Can you back up what you said, liar? Can you? Do you have the balls? Huh? Can you grow a couple? Maybe it'll take you a while. Yeah, so, okay. Yeah, I'll save that for later, frankly. Yeah, I'll save that for later. Alright. You can see that, right? No, okay, because it's in a new private window, you can't see it. Okay, but anyway, I'll save him for later. Alright, where were we? Okay, pone. Yeah, that was funny. The moment I realized her label, actual NASA shill, I died laughing out loud. My dog was startled. Well, that's funny. I don't understand. Is it just a joke that she works at NASA, or is it just hilarious that she works at... I don't know. I don't know the point. Anyway, Cody's point about looking at the kinetic energy of the rifle and bullet as one system is actually a really good point. So there's no consistency with Newton's third law, kind of obviously. And the point is if I shoot the bullet out of the spaceship, I don't go anywhere. You know, recoil the gun, bullet, because it's the same momentum. So only momentum moves the spaceship. And you're still going to insist that kinetic energy is real, even though it can't make matter move. So you can't collect it with a ballistic pendulum. You can't collect it with a spaceship. And a lever, of course, says it's nonsense. And you're still so confident you're right. So confident. You have no evidence supporting your theory, and you're confident it's right. All right, while the burning powder is exploding, it is pressing equally on all sides of the container. Some of that energy is accelerating the bullet, while some is stretching the brass case or steel, the brass case to steel the breech, while some is stressing and heating the steel of the gun barrel. The bullet's leaving very fast, very quickly. So any of that crap that's happening in the barrel isn't going to have anything to do with it. I mean, even if you took a gun and made a zip gun, okay? I mean, I've made this point. I mean, these people are so stupid. So you just make a gun with no barrel, okay? No end stock, all right? And you put one explosive in the middle, and then you put a light bullet on this side and a heavy bullet on that side. And you're going to get the same result. The same thing's going to happen. You're going to have an equal momentum in both directions, but the velocities will be proportional to the masses. The light bullet will be going fast, the heavy bullet will be going slower. And you'll have the same kinetic energy problem where you'll have more kinetic energy in the light direction and less kinetic energy in the heavy direction. That'll be the outcome. Perfectly inconsistent with Newton's third law, and you won't be able to collect either one of the kinetic energies. All you'll ever be able to collect with a ballistic pendulum from both sides is the momentum of the bullet. Oh, I mean, how can you people just keep lying in defense of this fable? Some of that energy accelerating the bullet, while some is stretching, okay, blah, 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 blah. As the bullet leaves the barrel, the burning ejectile follows it. Yes, right, because it can't catch up to it. All right, the shape and the muzzle can transfer that energy in all sorts of ways, either increasing or decreasing the felt recoil. So again, just nonsense. The felt recoil will be more affected by whether you allow, yes, the gases to escape. So the more gases that escape your gun, the less recoil you're going to get. And the more you trap the gas to reload a new cartridge, the more recoil you're going to get. It's a massive, complex reaction that has... Oh, wow, he's just wasting my time. Okay, plus, it's got Gary to admit that the rifle was bolted to the table. So I just can't imagine... There's nothing to admit. They don't understand what a ballistic pendulum is. The ballistic pendulum does not measure the gun's recoil. It's measuring the energy of the bullet, for fuck's sake. Where did I say otherwise? Oh, they're just such liars. Okay, and they don't measure the recoil. Yeah, when did I say they did? I'm saying you perfectly could. There's nothing stopping them from measuring the gun's recoil with a spring or something else, because obviously it's much slower energy, so it's a lot easier to measure. It's easy to measure things moving slowly. It's hard to measure things moving quickly. So where did that whole 2002 joule thing come from? Conservation of momentum. Oh, god damn. Oh, lies, because it's obvious that that is an acceptable substitute for data. So it's just, it's absolute nonsense. All you did was insult and condescend to Gary, whatever that means. What kind of educator name calls and ad hominem someone as passionate about science as defending the truth as Gary? Even if you don't agree, you can understand his energy as a result of how seriously he takes this subject. Well, at least the fact, like I said, it should be understood that all my videos are me drawing physics, and only a tiny percentage of them are doing this crap. All of them are about physics concepts and understanding them and getting to all the variables and understanding all the ins and outs of it. And it's about nothing else except the idea that I don't like bent space theories. I don't like woo theories. I don't like theories based on no evidence, just, open-minded nonsense speculation. Gingerbread, hoobies. Yeah, I don't like somebody speculating about hoobies. Okay. Anyway. Subjects with people not meeting his argument in good faith. Pointing to a book is not an argument. Well, I mean, it would be an argument if she actually told us what chapter she was reading from. And I'm quite certain it is How to Land on the Moon. I'm sure that wasn't the chapter. What school or degree you hold? Okay, your guest speaker were the ones to initiate personal name calling, not Gary. He was right about the idiocy comment. You came off like some obnoxious radio personality giving morons, humored by physics fart jokes their kicks. Patronizing bastard. Yes, that was pretty much the story. But look, we weren't expecting anything else. I knew I was arguing with a great flurfer fighter, and all of these clowns are all just exploiting his fucktards. Okay, they're not doing anything for the science or for the truth. They're doing it for the payoff. Okay, pretty sure Walter Lewin was the argument. So what is that? Pretty sure Walter Lewin was the argument. And Gary was told off by Walter Lewin video. So that didn't happen. No ad homs. Gary lied. So that's just a lie. Just too bad you can't be accountable, you little fucking liar. Yeah, you just won't be accountable. Let's see. So he has one video. This lying sack of little weaselly shit. Little short person looks like. Alright, yeah, that's all he's got. So let's see what it is. Alright, so he's just doing some driving. Well, that's unfortunate. Not very interesting. Alright, so we'll forget about that. Alright, shit talker. I mean, it's just disgusting. These weasels, these fucking lying little weaselly cowards. They throw their little mud and then they run away and hide. Okay. Gary's hair tells you how crazy he is. This is insane. So I don't get that one either. So anyone with long hair is insane. Right? Anyone who thinks, yeah, it's fine. I don't have something against it. I guess you're all the balding type and you're just really resentful. But you don't have any. Let's see, I commented on the debate that Gary barely exceeded the specifications of a jerk. Well, that's really brilliant. The derivative of acceleration, but it seems he was saving it all up for the after show. What a gem of a person. I don't even know what that means, but fuck it. Professor Walter Lewin is the best physics teacher I ever watched, and I recommend every physics enthusiast to, pay to send your daughters to MIT so they can be seduced by a 60-year-old turd. And well, anyway, that's a side subject. I watched his courses in basic physics in MIT, and that used to teach for years. Yeah, the joke is Professor Lewin is doing a bunch of experiments that somebody else already originated in the 60s. So when he's shooting the little monkey off of the thing, he makes it seem like, oh yeah, this is my idea of an experiment. Now look how I'm making it all understood. No, it was all invented long before him. He didn't do anything original. I did watch his 15, 16, 17 lectures about momentum and impulse. Well, I'm surprised you haven't watched all of them. I watched all of them. 101, 102, and 102X. So there are 45 lectures in each one of those things. I've watched 150 Professor Lewin lectures. More than once. Alright, so anyway, enough talk about that. There's no such thing as momentum versus energy. So obviously there is such a thing. I mean, scientists argued about it for 150 years, so I guess it was a thing. Yeah, anyway, we use both. I mean, what does that even mean? They have completely different answers, and then you just arbitrarily say, I feel like momentum today. Just too fucking ridiculous. In the rest of the comment where Vibus posted the screenshot of the contract, okay, that's a different subject. MCToon, your life is over. You have been pwned by the future Witsit. Witsit failed at debunking the globe, failed at geocentric Earth. Well, I'm just saying, you think I am going to fail. I think you're going to be disappointed, motherfucker. So Alexander, yeah, Alexander, okay. Little silly baby shit icon. Let's see, Emperor City working, and Circus Charlie PCB working. So this is must be he plays like 1940 video games. Yeah, that's really cool. All right. Boy, yeah, that makes you a physicist, huh? I don't even understand how Gary disagrees with 130 momentum and 33 momentum in the opposite direction, because it's motion in the universe. So I can't make it any clearer. You have 100 pieces of matter moving, and now you're going to make 133 move the same speed over here, and 33 move with the same speed over here. And so now you're going to have 166 moving the same speed. And you're telling me I should understand how that makes sense. You just made free motion in the universe, and I should understand how, yes, the universe does that all the time. It's really cool. Free energy. Okay. Oh, I just can't believe these people are this stupid. In an explosion, momentum is created in all directions. The concession is, of course, but obviously it's transferred just in the two directions because it doesn't have time to do a bunch of reflecting and pushing. All right, anyway. Canceling out. So he said canceling out again. We know it doesn't cancel. Ever. Heat never cancels, and all momentum is made out of this heat element. Every bit of energy in the universe never gets canceled. It always has to be somewhere. Richard Feynman explained this as a kid with blocks, and the kid was always trying to hide the blocks, but they never can be hidden. They can never disappear. They're always somewhere, and you just have to look for them. So they can't cancel. I can't just make two things crash and the energy is now gone. If it doesn't make this move, or it doesn't make this move, then it has to make something else. It has to make sparks, or it has to make heat, or it has to melt something. It has to do something. It can't just cancel, fucker. Oh, Jesus, you people are so goddamn stupid. All right, whatever. He says, how does he think momentum is conserved if that's not how it works? So he thinks canceling is conserving. Not much to say. Too dumb. All right, the units don't match. I don't care. So again, they keep arguing that there was some unit problem somewhere, and anything I said, there wasn't any unit problem. I mean, it doesn't make any difference. We're talking about the ratios here. We're talking about the V squared and what it means. And this asshole toon fucker, this dog-ass licking toon fucker, however you want to say that, properly word it, as a title, he can't even figure out that, yes, any change in the velocity will create a quadratic change in the energy. All right, Gary saw numbers get bigger when his cars collided and decided that means that the momentum of the system increased. Well, there's no doubt about it that the momentum in the direction the cart was moving increased. And free momentum is free energy. But those numbers were the times it took the cars to cross the distance. So bigger numbers mean they were giving slow. Yes, exactly. I mean, I didn't mess that up at all. Oh, you people are just such lying pieces of scum. So he calls himself Epic of Kalamush. Let's see, he must be a religious nut. Yeah. Yeah, he's a useless piece of turd. Oh, God. Wasted time. Someone asked a question about flaps and an airplane being used to bleed off momentum. Okay, well, that's really not much of a subject there. So that's 20 hours ago, so I got a long way to go here. So I will come back to that. I'll try to remember what that comment is. Step in the hooky pooky or whatever. 2 hours. Wow. Didn't intend to do that. But anyway, till the next time and such, and so forth and whatnot. Get the fuck out of here.